One tribe, a reminder of a place once lived, where real equality and community existed, free from judgment, free from the system of fear and control, a place where connection can lead to possibilities, and a space where creativity has no restrictions, a path through the unknown, not knowing where one's going to end up, but having the faith of knowing things are going to work out. A realization that the ocean is a thread that connects all the lands and all the tribes of people. A feeling of being connected to something greater than one's own singular life. A greater realization that no man is an island. Instead, a critical piece that makes up this collective consciousness. A part of time where the past, present and future coexist. A place of magic where thoughts become things. A greater understanding that by living in harmony with nature, one gains a healthy mind, body and spirit. A universal space where energy, frequency and vibration merge into one. And a great knowing that together as one, we can make a difference. Welcome to One Tribe.
How good? New frontier, eh? I mean, it's taken off. It's massive, and I think it's pretty cool. Like it's in its infancy, and it can go anywhere really. But it's cool now that girls have got a path to aspire to try and get to the AFL level. And only 2-3 years ago that didn't exist. So the growth in the game's been massive. They're getting there. Like, I mean, and a lot of these girls started as say teenagers, So like, I was 5-6 years old when I started playing footy. So the game will be, I think, unrecognisable in a few years with the levels that they'll be able to get to in school.
Your cars have been tight now, start of the season.
I went for a swim and I tried to keep, I know I swim most weeks, but I swim with the boy between my legs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I went to a different, and someone goes, just give it a shot, just try kicking it. You can't do it.
Yeah.
And that, I pulled up with sore calves after kicking.
Just
Kicking at the pool, like when I was swimming.
Okay.
So I've gone back to just with the boy. But my body's been pretty good apart from like just general sort of calf hamstring tightness.
Yeah. The Achilles been good.
It's killed most Achilles problems.
The cold water, walking in the cold water is fantastic for the recovery, isn't it? Takes the heat out of the joints. Really good for stop soreness.
Yeah. Freshens you up, gets a fair bit of blood moving.
All those footballers at St Kilda can't be wrong. And the salt water, and the salt water is so oxygenated. It's quite good.
This side! Go! Just go. Test. No, sorry, Cal. You know what's coming.
Because I was very involved in founding the club, I wanted to hand over some of the leadership responsibilities, the formal captaincy and formal leadership responsibilities to some of the girls, because I felt like I already owned enough of it and wanted to transfer that over. So I think my coach jokes a little bit that I'm the spiritual leader because I'm still a leader, but I haven't taken on that formal title because I want the girls to actually lead the team, the younger girls, to get some leadership experience, and probably want more people to take that ownership and feel like it's their team, not go, oh, Al has set it up, Al is the captain, be that one person. We want to feel like it's a collective.
Spiritual leader, 34, angry.
Season even, we moved up to Division 2. We didn't know what that was going to mean. The last few years I've ticked off a couple of things on my bucket list. When I was a kid, I obviously was a tomboy, so I used to like to play footy. I used to want to go surfing as well, but you know, it just wasn't that accessible to girls. It wasn't that easy to do. There was obviously no footy teams to play in. With footy, it was the cultural thing is, you know, I could play and kick the footy and go to training with the boys as much as I wanted, but there was physically nowhere that I could play. So I think that those things have opened up for me since I've been in my 30s, and I've taken up surfing and you know, had the opportunity to play competition footy. I suppose volunteers are what makes society move and what makes our community vibrant, and without them it would be stale because we'd be waiting for the government to do things and they've got no real connection or inspiration to do the things on your local level. So I think you need to volunteer on a local level in your community so that one, you feel part of it, but two, you know, it works. It's more vibrant, it makes it a better place to live. I'm obviously very passionate about women's sport. I've got two young fellas, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. Whether I'm coaching them, I think that that would be a good role model for them and for the other boys in their team to have, you know, a mother coaching a footy team or a cricket team or one of those sort of really male domain sports. I think that that sets up a good example for how to treat women and all those sort of things that we're trying to get to. Or whether I continue to coach probably parallel to what they're playing and to take a leadership role in there when they hopefully play community sport and not just be one of the women that do a power of work but are the treasurer, actually take on that leadership role and say, nah, I'm president and we're going to be led by a female so that this is where we want to be and not take that backward step.
We got paintballs. Next one's going to come a lot faster. When the group gets here, we load up paintballs. We've got boxes of paintballs here. Each pod holds 100. This one's called Canadian Camo, and this one's called Australian Jungle. Put a mask on each customer. They're pretty hard wearing. For customers, this one's double lens, so it doesn't fog as much. And this is how you fill up the air container that propels the paintball. That's 3,000 psi in that tank. And I'll take the safety catch off. So it shoots out paintballs like that when they're loaded. When they get here, I'll get them to sign an indemnity sheet so they, if any accidents happen on the field, it's up to them to. No, it is running around. You can do your ankle, or it's action starts in 9:30. It's very quiet and peaceful here at the moment. That's what I call it, the calm before the storm. Yeah. My mate was going to a Bucks party and we all went down Melbourne and played paintball, and first time I played it I thought, oh wow, this is like a inspirational moment. It's a bit like surfing. You got the adrenaline up and you know, you're really high energy, and I love that type of thing, and crawling through the bush and hunting, and we used to hunt rabbits when we were kids, so I like that crawling and hunting, going through the bush and yeah, playing commando. It's great. That high level just after you're finished even lasts for a few days. And then when I got home, I thought, I'm going to start up a paintball field. This is the best thing on earth, you know. There was nothing within 2 hours drive. So I've set up 20 acres of bush and forts and all sorts of different paintball games. And it's been really good fun for the last 10 years. But a lot of people come in thinking about the war and, you know, shooting people and aggression and stuff like that, but it's really not like that in, you know, real terms when customers come through. A lot of people sit down after the first 5 minutes and go, oh my God, I never want to be in war. So they feel like, you know, they feel it, touch and understand what war's about, where, you know, you can talk about it, but if you reenact it, you actually really get the gist. So a lot of those people that play paintball, you know, if they got called to enlist, they go, bugger that, I wouldn't do that. And so really good, it teaches people the aspects of war right up in your face, isn't it? I've treated Fabio a few times. He loves big waves to surf as well. So I see him out the Bombie occasionally. I think he was out there the other day on a jet ski.
Yeah, so I live at Cape Patterson obviously, and I come down to first surf and swim from one end to the other. It's a 400 metre swim, so I might do that 5 or 6 times, maybe even a bit more. Yeah, it's just good to get the arms moving, and it's in my backyard, so yeah, it's awesome. Training gives you a sense of purpose, like day to day, week to week. And once you get those endorphins going, you feel awesome, eh? I really enjoy training and just like smashing myself and seeing how hard I can go. The journey about competing in Shepparton, well, the journey started about 6 to 8 months beforehand. And there was a lot of swim, bike, run training. We'd gone to Europe for 3 to 4 weeks. We hired some bikes and did a lot of training up through the hills through Italy, and a lot of running along the way. We ran around Paris and lots of other locations. Yeah, so it was a pretty tough journey to get there. We just pretty much jumped off the plane, and about 4 days later we were in Shepparton, pretty jet lagged, and taking part in the Half Ironman. So the Half Ironman involves a 1.8k swim, which is done in the Shepparton Lake there in the town centre. And then it's a 90k bike ride, which you ride out of Shepparton for 45k's and come back in. You do 2 loops. And then it's a 3-loop run, which goes for 21.5k's, half marathon. Getting through the race. I started off a real good swim, real strong. I was started on the outside and just working my way across to the middle, and held onto the feet of everyone that was in front of me pretty much. The ride was good. We had no wind. The course was pretty flat. Yeah, I found the bike leg pretty easy. The run was an undulating course. Had a couple of suspension bridges in it, which got a bit of a wobble up when there was a few of us going across. Yeah, and the terrain was, like I said, undulating, and heaps of tree cover, which was sort of playing games with your watch. You couldn't really tell what pace you were doing under the tree canopy there, so you sort of had a false sense of how quick you were actually going. How do you push through? Well, I got told something a long time ago when I was in the military, and it is, your body will go further than your mind will let it. So when you think you can't go anymore, just keep going, because your body can just keep going. I want people to be confident, believe in their abilities, and just keep attacking. Don't give up. If you think you can't do it, just dig deep. I'm pretty sure you can. That's it. Have the confidence to just believe in yourself and keep going. Life skills from the military. I learned a lot about teamwork, being resilient, being able to adapt and overcome in situations where you wouldn't normally be thrown in, where most people, would never go to. You've got to be able to adapt to your surroundings and overcome the obstacles that are ahead of you. Community is, your little town, group of people all coming together. Everybody knows everyone, as they do. Yeah, when things get tough, your community all binds together and gets through the tough times and celebrates the good times. Help the people that aren't as privileged, whether that be through, community food programs, somewhere for people to sleep, like homeless people to sleep. I'm sure there's a lot more we could be doing that we aren't doing. I think everybody's got a purpose on this world. I think, there's some, for instance, some outstanding athletes where you say, oh, they were born to do this. Leaders, there's some people that are just awesome leaders, and, it's just in them to do good things. Yeah, I reckon everybody's got a purpose. You just got to find it, and you know, bring it out to the broader community. I surf the bombing a lot with Pat. I run into him out there. Whenever my body's sore, I go see Pat and get a massage, and he fixes me up. He's a good bloke. I was overseas and I sort of hurt my hip for a bit.
Okay. So surfing or just travelling?
Just travelling.
Okay.
Sleeping in camper van, crouched, straight.
Oh, okay.
And I was exercising heaps while I was over there. Running trail over that.
Oh yeah.
And
do a bit of cross country trail running.
Country trail running and cycling.
Yep.
And I did a long distance triathlon on the weekend.
It's good to get a massage for, you know, if you're working, a lot of people working pretty hard at the computer all the time. You know, early days, the RSI was one of the big things of repetitive strain injury, was the watchword in them days. People would, you know, have elbows, tennis elbow and golfer's elbow and crook necks and shoulders for RSI, they used to call it, but they don't use that word anymore. But you know, with the computer, everyone's kind of in this locked position for their neck, and they're in this position for the computer, and even just doing that with them moving the mouse around, just you use it too much. You need to get up and walk around every hour after sitting on the computer. And with muscle treatment, if you can't move around as much and getting tight, it's good to get some muscle treatment and get the muscles sorted out and get back on track with it. And yeah.
Fluid build up in around that bursa.
Yep.
So the patches just draw the fluid out. The other one's electric soda. You can use electric soda patch. I'm just hitting the tendons. This is just trigger point acupuncture. So I've just picked up the tendons that attach around the hip, and you can release really tight fibres out of that.
Being community minded is a great thing. It's a twofold thing where when you're doing stuff, you feel good and you're helping out someone else. So it's a great thing to do, is get involved in the community. There's lots of people get tied up in their little niche, what they're doing, and not looking outside the box. So there's lots of opportunities to help people, but help people with something you like to do. If you're forcing yourself to help someone, it's not working, it won't work as well. But if you do it, if you're enjoying doing it, you'll do a lot longer and a lot more with helping the community. So you've got to find a way that you help the community, but you're actually enjoying it as well. It's not a chore. I really love the adrenaline side of the surfing, just a bit more physical. But I do a bit of art as well, which is not so much adrenaline, but I like a bit of sculpture art, but surfing has been probably my mainstay. It's a very, very simple thing to do, surfing, and I really enjoy it because I can be at home, the wind changes to offshore, and I can be in the beach at 5 minutes and then having a surf for an hour, then I come back, and it hasn't interfered with my family life as much. I'm not away for days or hours, too many big hours. So I can blend in a lifestyle more than spending all day out the beach. It's great to fix in with the lifestyle, especially around family and that. I've noticed that if, whether it's a mental anguish or mental thought, or you're overthinking things, sometimes if you distract yourself and a bit of time in between, that tends to go away. Although at the time it's so intense you wouldn't think that you could distract yourself from it. So a lot of times your brain is set up to loop. So if I think of chocolate and then think of chocolate again and shooting chocolate again, I'll probably, in a minute's time, I'd probably go to the drawer and try to find some chocolate. But if I have something happen, someone slams the door or something like that, that thought's almost gone. So it's good to have a distraction from, so same if you're a little bit depressed, or just wait a minute, sometimes a little bit of time, and give yourself time to make things change.